Goodness gracious, it's been over 2 months.
Babe, I already hit record.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were just talking.
What it do, baby? Yeah.
We talking about sports, get ball.
Welcome back to another edition of the number one podcast in your headphones, Prem Brulee. I am your host, Premal Bot, with my amazing wife,
Stephanie Bot.
Thanks for joining me again, babe. You're a hit, so I'd be dumb not to have you on here.
I think people are probably sick of me by now.
I don't think so. We are going to be talking more sports today because
the world is awake.
it is a little
I'm
bit
trying
awake,
to
but
be.
there's still some depressing things to remind us that it's not fully awake.
All right.
So we're going to get back into the sports. And you know what we talked about last time? Reason for the hiatusi, whatever the plural is, is because there's a lot of important issues going on right now. So don't want to bog them down too much, but I'm hoping that this will be a little bit more regular now that we have sports to hopefully at least distract us and keep us home responsibly. But without further ado, let's get going with Yeah Fam or Nah. You ready, babe?
Let's do this.
All right, so we do have a COVID-19 sports update. Basically, the bubble sports are working. The WNBA, the NBA, MLS, NHL, they all have had no COVID positives, and their common denominator is that they establish bubbles for players, multiple teams to congregate to, and establish no transmission, essentially.
I've heard a little snafu might be coming, though, for NBA. There was news reports this morning saying that families might be able to pop in for visits.
Yep, you're
The
right.
joke is that it's like conjugal visits for the...
Essentially.
So who knows if that's going to reverse the
Great.
NBA's success here soon.
We'll see. They are going to have some intense rules for those people visiting. So I think it's like once you're in, you're in. It's not just a temporary. So you have to do like 7 days of quarantine before you get to be granted access. So
That's good.
we'll see how that goes. And NBA playoffs are going to be starting officially soon. The race for all the 8 seeds is starting to wrap up. But the bubble sports are working. I think we're probably both a yeah fam to that concept.
Yeah, I wish they could figure it out for schools.
Wish they could figure it out for schools. Wish they could figure it out for all the other sports, because all the other ones are in danger. And that's a nice segue into talking about those non-bubble sports. Major League Baseball's already had outbreaks on the Marlins and Phillies prior to this. The bubble works so much better that the MLB is considering a bubble format for the playoffs.
It's not like they don't have the money for it, right?
The crazy part is, the reason I'm a nah to non-bubble sports is, especially when it comes to the MLB, baseball has the infrastructure to create a bubble. It's called spring training. You have Arizona, you have Florida, create even 2 hubs for their teams to congregate to. They already do it for spring training, so I just don't see what the delay was if the stands are empty anyway. Like, what was the big draw to just be in home stadiums? You either want to play or you don't, and I think this would have been a better way to do it. The NFL has already had positives, multiple positives. They're just starting up camp, non-contact to start. They're not doing any preseason games. Positives include, like, Eagles head coach Doug Peterson. HBO Hard Knocks just started, and we found out that Chargers head coach Anthony Lynn had COVID, so it's already around in the NFL. NFL's a little bit tougher to have a bubble, so I just don't know what it's going to mean for the future. And you're a big fantasy football person, so
Yeah, that's what fall is. Fall equals football.
it looks like it'll be enough to at least draft, because we're coming up on that soon, but we'll see how much of the season we get through. So if you typically suck at fantasy football, this might be your chance to get like a freebie in, because if it gets canceled, you just get a refund mostly. And of course, the sport dominating airwaves is college football. It is quite the mess. There obviously more on that later, but the Big Ten and Pac-12 and a lot of smaller conferences have decided to cancel or postpone till spring. Meanwhile, the ACC, the SEC, and the Big 12 are proceeding as usual. They delayed their start of their season, but they think they're going to play. So
Even though their
Don't ever
states are
play
probably
yourself.
like the
Don't ever
hottest.
play yourself.
I
Don't
think
ever play
their
yourself.
states-
Don't ever play yourself.
not even that they're the hottest, it's that they also coincide with states that probably don't take this serious enough.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
It's kinda
They're just
crazy.
like,
They're
F
going.
it.
I'm not confident that they'll get through their whole season. They might get a few games in, but it's kind of a crazy ask to be.
How do you think
Full
the
contact.
players who would be like transitioning to the draft feel about playing then? If it's not going to lead to a national championship, it's not going to. It might get shut down halfway through. Is it worth the risk?
Well, my feeling is the ones playing in the fall probably will still play, and especially because there's so many more players that have something to prove, so even a few games might help them. I feel for the Big Ten and Pac-12 players that probably needed some extra time. You know, people like seniors, fifth-year seniors who are having their last chance at playing and improving their draft stock. It just doesn't make sense to play spring football. It's like, I mean, I'll talk more about it and you played yourself, but spring football for draftees is going to be just a dumb idea. No one's going to play. It's going to be a watered-down product. So I don't know what this is going to look like with teams playing, because even if you think about they get to a championship with these three conferences, how can you say you're a true champion? I mean, we're Buckeye
They're
fans.
not,
The
no.
Buckeyes have a legitimate roster, and if they weren't part of that playoff, I don't know how that championship doesn't have a big fat question mark on it.
Question 2 is, are the schools and are colleges in the South reporting back to school? Like, are students on campus?
That I don't know.
I mean, I would be intrigued to know that, because I feel like you can't require athletes to be the only ones that report to campus when no other students are.
they're compensated. Oh no. Oh wait, they're not. They're just amateurs. But when we want to make money as a university, then we treat them like objects that are just fine. But, all right.
Exactly, yeah.
So you're not the non-bubble sports, I'm guessing.
Correct. Well, yes.
The pain they're causing us and the pain they're causing their players
Yeah.
seems dumb. Okay, I got a hypothetical for you, babe.
All
We
right.
live, obviously, in Columbus.
Flavor
Correct.
Town.
Big Buckeye fans.
Yes.
Controls our fall.
Correct.
Would you trade all other sports coming back in exchange to have college football?
That's a no-brainer, yes.
Yeah, fam.
I
That's
didn't even have to think about it.
So you're not. I'm not saying anything that isn't true. You're not much of an NBA person. You love college basketball, but that's not in play right now.
No, NBA players.
You're
are
not
little-
NBA. We're not. I mean, go Jackets, go hockey, but we're not huge hockey, not huge soccer fans.
Those are all fun to go to like live sports to watch
Yeah.
of, but obviously those aren't happening right
So
now.
it's a no-brainer. You can exchange and baseball. You're not much into.
No, baseball takes too long.
See, I'm even a fam, and I got the Stros in baseball. I want to see LeGod James try to win another title, and again, go Jackets, go hockey. Number one hockey fan here, number one hockey expert. But I would trade them all to have
Football's
the
like
Buckeyes
a
play.
lifestyle, though. That's the thing. It's not. Yeah,
It's like cold brew year round. It's a fucking
it's
lifestyle.
a lifestyle.
Don't ever play
What it
yourself.
do,
But it is like
Yeah.
from September to January. I mean, that's like our life. Every Saturday, every week is planned around when the Buckeyes play, what big college games are going on. So it's not even. It's a culture. It's not just necessarily the sport. It's more the life and the culture and the events that surround college football. So it's
Absolutely.
no brainer.
Okay. Our COVID-19 at-home edition, we've kind of explored all the subjects, but I like our little what would the other person answer. So I have one for you right now. As things start to be forced back to normal, I think we've asked this before when quarantine first started, but I mean in terms of like the extravagant, the things that are still kind of limited.
Yep.
So what would be my answer for one thing I'd like to go back to normal? So a few examples I have just to think broad scope is like social life, like getting to see more people, traveling, work going back to normal, especially for you, activities where you don't have to fear, like, who am I going to be around?
Yeah.
What would be my answer? Like, what would I want most to go back?
Gosh, I've got like 3 ideas that are floating through my head. One, I would say is sports, like just having the normalcy of sports seasons.
Yep.
The other thing I was thinking was like concerts, like because that's something we love to do.
It's a great one.
In the, especially
Concerts are a
right
great
now.
one.
Breakaway
Yeah.
would have been coming up, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like that maybe the obvious of all the choices is not having to like second guess about attending like events for people, like birthdays and weddings and other celebrations like that. It's very uncomfortable, and it would be nice for you, like, for not to have that uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah, that's a good one. That was one I wasn't even thinking of, but yeah, being able to celebrate just without worry is a great one.
Yeah.
Same question for you. What do I think you would want to go back to normal? I think if someone could tell you you could have no risk by going to work again, that would be great for just overall. There's a lot of question marks going on right now in your head regarding that.
Right.
And it's so fresh on your mind.
Yeah.
Next, I would also say concerts, and then like football Saturdays would be a big one. What do you think? Am I right? Wrong?
No, I mean 100%. I think that for me, being a teacher, working in schools, it's just been on my mind literally since March. Like, it has not been a moment that I haven't not thought about what school's going to look like, what is going to happen with work, what's going to happen with our students, what's going to happen with our kids. So be nice to not have that worry anymore. One thing I forgot that you forgot to say would be, I don't know if I would say generally traveling, because we're not like huge travelers, but I think being able to see like my family who live all over the place and not having to worry about it.
If you haven't caught on, this is a family affair. Teddy is mouth breathing all over the mic, but because he's part of the family and this is family edition,
he wants to be included.
He is living his best life. He wouldn't change a single thing about COVID.
Yeah. This is the first week he's had to be home alone for 3 straight days in a row.
Yeah, poor him.
So
he's had such a
little
rough
worked
life.
up. But yes, not having to worry or think twice about visiting family would be one that we didn't mention.
And you saying Outer Banks, is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. We missed our big family vacation this summer because we wanted to make sure that because there's Teddy again. We wanted to make sure that everyone in our family stayed safe. So yes, not having that worry when seeing your loved ones would be wonderful.
That's a good one.
I'm petty as hell. And I'm super petty.
Here we
Petty Le Pew.
go.
All right, now it's time for my favorite section. You played yourself, and we're actually back to some sports subjects to call out. I hope all of you people that didn't take Mask U serious or were clamoring to go get your hair cut or that you just wanted to get back to the bar. I really hope you're fucking happy now. I sincerely fucking hope that you are happy. And I hope that you're a college football fan that now does not get to enjoy the season because you had to go to fucking Chili's for 2 for $20. If you question the use of masks or the weight of this pandemic, you do not get to be upset about there not being football. That's the fucking rule. I'm establishing it right now. You're directly responsible for the no football being had.
Petty alert.
It's the same concept as people who don't vote complaining about an outcome. We don't want to fucking hear it out of you. If you're some of us who were trying to be responsible, tell people to be responsible, you're allowed to be upset. Sure, it's trivial. There's bigger things going on in this world, but it's okay to be upset. There's no college football. It's a great distraction. A lot of us, like those of us in Columbus, we build our entire fall and winter around it. And just like that, taken away because people don't take their shit serious and our country didn't take it serious. Seems like we're the only one, but whatever. It's also incredible to me that some people who don't think college athletes should get paid are telling us now that we should listen to the college athlete when they are chiming to play, that they want to play. Of course they want to play. They work so hard. Obviously they do. But there's risk in playing a full contact sport. But I just figured I'd throw You Played Yourself out to some of you who
don't ever play yourself.
Just want their voices to be heard when it's convenient for you. When they're talking about profiting off their likeness. No. Simmer down. But when they give me my college football, then it's okay for them to open their mouth.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Let me get a couple outside of college football before I finish with my very own conference. You Played Yourself goes to when I got to hear Astros haters saying that they're living rent-free in my head. Meanwhile, y'all just keep charging dugouts and are offended when players get suspended, right? I'm just over here sipping from my 2017 World Series glass, but I'll wait while you all go buy Joe Kelly's jersey and tell me how big of a fan of his you are. But yeah, me minding my own business, expecting all this hate, is somehow leading to you tell me that you're living rent-free in my head? I couldn't give a fuck. I love seeing all this happen. How are you living rent-free in my head? The title didn't get vacated?
From the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
You guys just keep getting yourselves suspended and getting yourselves more mad that you got suspended and Astros players didn't. That's not my problem. Seems like Jose Altuve and George Springer are living rent-free in your head, no? Fuck out of here. Oh, and real quick, since it's been a couple months, the Cowboys officially failed to reach a long-term deal with Dak Prescott. He signed his franchise tag for a lot more money than he's ever earned, just for a one-year deal. But only the Dallas Cowboys could find a way to pay everyone but their quarterback, and literally do everything backwards from everyone else. Only them. For perspective here, Dak is the 8th quarterback to be designated a franchise player or be given a franchise tag since 1993. But only 2 have actually played a season under the tag, meaning even though they got the tag, they worked out a deal before the deadline was up. The other 2 who actually played a season under the tag were Drew Brees in 2005 for the Chargers.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
And Kirk Cousins in 2016 and 17 for the Washington football team.
You're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Oh, and yeah, you heard those teams correctly, because in case you forgot, both of them would go on to sign deals with different teams after that. Only the Cowboys. The Cowboys made a great signing. They just signed Everson Griffin, stole him away from the Vikings and other suitors. They got him for a one-year deal. Great deal. You know, but every time something good happens, the balance is off in the world. Cowboys fans can't have nice things. You know, we couldn't reach a Dak contract. Oh, but here we go. We got this nice, shiny signing. Probably means football is going to be canceled, folks. Sorry, I don't make the rules. I just live with them. Do you want to go before I finish with this Big Ten finale, babe?
Do you need a break? Need a breather?
Yeah, I need to take a breath here.
Let your pulse go down a little bit, your heart rate go
I don't
down.
think it ever goes down when I'm recording these.
There are a couple gray hairs popping up. You podcasters need to take responsibility for getting Prem
Got a
fired
few
up.
gray streaks here, guys.
Well, my little You Played Yourself is just almost like a PSA to the community, to parents. Just putting it out there that a few months ago I was wearing a crown. A few months ago I was being applauded for being so caring and being so thoughtful and just, jumping in and taking care of our kids. And wow, teachers, you guys are rock stars.
Which you are.
But now, I think we've become sacrificial lambs. It's like, oh, you don't have a family that you need to worry about. You don't have health that you need to worry about. Big middle fingers to that, and suck it up and come teach our kids.
And go into this petri dish with 25 children.
Right.
Who sneeze out in the open.
Yes. Oh, you can keep 25 5-year-olds 6 feet apart in one classroom all day long.
While they open mouth sneeze and wipe their nose on the carpet.
That's possible. You'll stay safe. Don't worry. But our kids need to go to school. And there's actually been quotes from, politicians saying that parents need their babysitters in reference to my job. We are not babysitters. We've had people quote, "What have you been doing all summer? How are you not ready?" Just want you to know, people, we don't get paid from the last day of school to the first day of school.
Yeah,
those months are uncompensated if you do any work during those months.
Are all of you guys working for fucking free out there? Teachers are already underpaid. You want them to work more for free?
Yeah. So just a little, announcement to if you have kids, or if you're an active community member and you're listening to this, just keep in the back of your head that we are people, teachers are people, and it is a job, so we should really get paid for the job and have our rights and responsibilities in our lives respected. So
And also, teachers are humans, parents. Some of them are grandparents, their nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles. They're everything that you guys all are, but somehow they're not human to you enough because your kids need to go to school. Yeah, but...
Oh, and we want them to come to school, by the way. We just don't want to get sick or have a kid get sick.
Just like you fucking don't, guys, by the way. Okay, I promised a finale here.
You feeling it? I'm ready. I'm excited.
Yes. So, you played yourself Big Ten football and college football in general. I'm a public health professional, first and foremost, so I get not playing a contact sport. I'm for that. But here's what I just don't get. What exactly is so different from the Power 5 conferences' medical consultants' perspectives that the Big 12, SEC, and ACC are all planning to play football, while the Big 10 and Pac-12 aren't? How can it be so vastly different that they came to such wildly different conclusions? And also, it's more of a rhetorical because it sounds fucking dumb. They should have one set of rules, but the NCAA doesn't have a set on them to even require anything. They're used to controlling all these amateurs, all these collegiate athletes, but they don't want to be the fucking victim when it matters most. They can't pass a policy across the board. Instead, they leave it up to these Power 5 conferences who have them by the balls, and they all result in different scenarios somehow. They all these medical experts. So yeah, we can blame it on region, all that stuff. These are supposed to be medical experts, and 3 out of 5 power conferences said no, we'll go ahead and play a contact sport, while 2 said not only are we not giving it a little bit, we're going to say no contact sport. How does that happen? And then Big Ten, why on fucking earth is, if you knew there was a chance of canceling, would you then release a modified schedule just days prior? What changed in 3 days that you said, here's a new schedule, surprise, Ohio State and Michigan are now playing in October, here's blah blah blah, here's all this hype, and then 3 days later, just kidding, it's done. Just say fucking hold on and don't release a schedule. This is coming from a public health professional. Football was either never an option based on safety, or it should have been planned for long before. These are very well and overpaid individuals who had prepared for this, and it's almost like they just wanted to keep putting it off, just like every other leader in this country. They wanted to keep putting it off, hoping for some kind of fucking cure or it magically to disappear, instead of just fucking doing their job and planning. What the hell is this in-between chicken shit? It makes no fucking sense that 3 conferences are going to play while all these others are going to play in the spring. How are we going to accomplish anything? What is the fucking point of any of that? And also, you played yourself Nebraska.
Congratulations.
Last I checked, it wasn't fucking 1995. You're not in your prime. You threatening to leave the Big Ten? Fucking leave. No one gives a shit. You haven't competed for jack shit except for the Mayonnaise Bowl on December 26th. Who gives a shit what you think, Scott Frost and your chancellor? Leave the Big Ten. Who gives a fuck? We don't care if you leave. You threatening to leave the Big Ten. We'll find another option in the fall. Great, go. We're not missing you. Take Rutgers with you. We don't give a shit.
watch Rutgers.
Rutgers, touche to you guys, man. You didn't finish last. COVID, great. Also, I mean, fucking Team Up North Michigan fans gotta be loving this, right? You know, just think about this concept. There are people like 10 to 15 years old who have now just seen COVID beat Ohio State before their own fucking team could. So you fucking played yourself.
Do you feel better now?
A little bit. I mean, what are we gonna do? All right. Now we're gonna move on to who you got and what you feeling. So last episode we talked about what we were most proud of that we accomplished during quarantine. You said it was house projects. I said it was cultivating relationships. You know, having dinner, just the two of us, which we've kept up, and accomplished a lot at work. It's all still true. This week, sticking with the theme.
Your angry no football theme?
Yes. What would you miss most if there was no football?
We have a tradition. NFL Sundays equals potluck Sundays. Rotate houses with friends. Bring some yummy food.
Oh, yeah.
McDonald's Coke Sundays.
Oh, yeah.
Nectar of the gods in your eyes.
Nectar of the gods. It's a lifestyle, guys.
So I guess we'll just hopefully do that with no football on in the background. But
See,
it just doesn't feel right. I don't know.
Here's my theory. We watch Buckeye replays.
Replays, all right.
Ones where we know they win, obviously.
Maybe back before I was a fan, so you can educate me a little bit.
That would be great. And then we could ask trivia based on that year. And while we're hanging out with friends responsibly, they get it right, they get to dish out a drink. Get it wrong, they got to take one.
Wow.
We turn it up a notch.
Look at you, just coming up with new
You feel free to steal that idea as your own number 1 podcast listeners. I'm here for you. You had one more part of that, right?
Oh, well, this is my hashtag white girl problems. But I'm going to miss dressing up in my flannels and my Buckeye gear and, like, putting the face tattoo on and getting ready for game day.
I'm embarrassed and proud at the same time. It's weird. I'm gonna miss the vibe around Columbus on football Saturdays. It's just like this energy in the air, like everything's focused around it. And I like for Sundays, potluck Sundays. The Cowboys go from making me proud to making me disappointed, but a nice constant is potluck Sundays, and like hopefully football still happens and we could still enjoy like NFL Red Zone because I love that shit. Yeah, and hopefully it happens for fantasy football because that will at least take up some of our lives too. Okay, babe. So what are you feeling lately?
I feel what I've been feeling lately is definitely supporting all the small businesses and people just hustling all around Columbus.
Don't forget about them, guys.
Yeah, right. I think there was a push like right at the beginning of all the shutdown to help them out, but it's one of those things where it's like out of sight, out of mind. And I think that there's a lot of small businesses out there that are still trying to recoup and recover, and I'm sure their traffic is still lower than typical times. And so I'm just supporting all the small businesses and all the business owners working really, really hard to keep it going and changing their models to fit the new times with like online shopping and online orders. And so shout out to all of the hardworking business owners around Columbus.
Should we shout out a couple?
Let's do it. So two of my favorite clothing stores in Columbus. So shout out to Jolie Occasions in the Short North, the owner. We've been friends with since high school. She's rocking it.
She's a boss. Yeah. Shout out to her.
Shout out to
also named Steph.
Yep,
Steph Gang.
That's true. Shout out to Vernacular in Grandview. They're
both of which social media, online followings, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So just if you're not in Columbus, check them out.
Right.
Jolie is Jolie.
Order some cookies from Lion's Cookies and get them delivered to your
Lion Cub,
house.
right?
Lion's Cub, you're right.
Yeah.
Lion Cub cookies. Get them delivered to your house. It's amazing.
Yeah, that was delicious.
So good. And then local bookstores. Come on, we got more time to read right now. Support the local bookstores. Don't shop Amazon. Don't shop Barnes & Noble. Go to the small little cute bookstores. There's one in Bexley if you're in the Columbus area. It's called Gramercy Books. They're adorable. They're so nice there. They help you pick things out. So shout out to the kind, hardworking people out there.
Yep. I dig that one. Mm-hmm. I am feeling wine. I'm a big wine guy. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Huge wine drinker.
A1 since day 2. But big wine guy. We went up to an area in Ohio that it has some vineyards in Geneva on the lake, Ohio. And we drink our fair amount of wine.
Drink a lot of wine.
So that's what I'm feeling right now, is a big wine guy.
Yeah.
And a shout out to my gal Tori for first putting me on game with wine.
Do you swirl it and smell it and swish it in your mouth?
Yeah,
and
it's got a
get
real notes of grape and
and on some other fruits.
some other fruits, that catch some oak in there. You know the vibes,
You're
guys.
an expert.
Big A1 since day 2 vibes there. And I like to end each episode. It's time for my too much sense.
Give it to us.
The advice you didn't ask for, but I'm going to give you anyway. This is like a personal... Usually most of mine are based on what happens to me or what I see happen to people I love. So this week is about progress. The progress you make as a person should first and foremost be for you and not for anyone else. Improving yourself is a big deal. Even if no one else recognizes it, it's important that you know yourself that you made efforts to get better. Because it takes a lot to look in the mirror and say, oh, there's something I need to improve on and work towards that. The recognition from others will come later. It might not ever come. Newsflash to you. It might not ever come. If it is gradual, it's something that they just kind of get used to. But in the event it does, just know that you earned it. And even if it doesn't know that you earned it, I think progress is a beautiful thing. We all tend to hopefully like ourselves. And if we don't like ourselves, we're trying to get better. But that's a huge deal. So if no one's told you lately, man, have you been working on yourself? Good job.
Killing it.
Amen.
And also, if you're feeling, working on improving yourself and making progress, like that should just make you feel overall more happy, and then you're just putting a better vibe out into the world. So just
putting some good karma out in the world. So that's my too much sense for the week, and that marks another edition of the number one podcast in your headphones, Prem Brulee. We've been your hosts, Steph and Premal Bot, and we will hopefully talk to you sooner. The plan is, with more sports comes more Prem Brulee.
More spicy takes.
Absolutely. You can always count on me for that. So we will talk to you next time. Appreciate you, number one podcast listeners. Make sure you like, review, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. We wouldn't do this without you. So we so appreciate you.
See you, fam.